Hi, friends. So, 30 tiny steps of sustainability. Today's message is learning all about the fires that are going on in California. Oh, just took a look this morning at Lake Berryessa, which is to the southeast of me in Ukiah here. We're in Mendocino County. And then hearing of friends, like I'm constantly getting on my Facebook posts that they're safe, which is a great feature. Thank you, Facebook. Um, but it's nuts. It's just yet again, and to hear Vacaville and Fairfield and the two counties that my heart goes out to right now, at least up in Northern California, are Sonoma and Napa because it's just happening. And then of course the big Armstrong Woods that I've hung out in the Guerneville area. So, what's the sustainability message of today? At this point, just coming out with it. Totally believe humans are responsible for climate change. And, there's always been fires and lightning through time. And if anything, all of us that want to live in areas that we don't want to see fire happen, I'd love to actually hear the fire chiefs talk a little bit more about what controlled fire burns look like, because I've heard that generally we don't want to actually do test fire runs because we don't want to breathe that smoke. But with the high heat and all that's going on, it's like Mama Nature is sending us a big message that we best be figuring out what to do about our emissions and the ways that it's making our climate so hot. I mean, every year we have like a new record breaking high temperature, and that affects the polar ice caps and so on and so forth. So, um, the word resilience is coming up for me. People are getting really more aware and with it with preparedness. If you're not, then this is a great opportunity to just know what you would grab in like a 10-minute, what you would grab in, say, 20 or 30 minutes, maybe an hour, with some advance notice. The good news is because of such crazy fires that have ripped through Santa Rosa and other neighborhoods and communities, but especially Santa Rosa up here, the activity that happened last year for the Kincaid fire, which found us in our tiny home in San Ramon when our area we were living in Sebastopol, was evacuated. And so there was an article about tiny homes, and I'm just going to say it here again. Our plan right now is that if something was to happen in Ukiah, we would hook up our tiny home. And in fact, I'm going to look over to my husband, Eric.
Yeah.
We might want to just leave the truck hooked up. Not such a bad idea because it takes a moment to hook up the truck, and we're not really using the truck right now. And who knows, it's only August. That's what a lot of people keep saying. Like last year, we were dealing with this stuff in like September, October, I think. I'm pretty sure Paradise happened in November because it was really close to like the holiday season. So, drench of cold, splash of water, please, but without the lighting. Lightning. Thank you. I mean, it was some crazy ass weather here recently. I felt like I was in the Midwest. Like, I'm in dry heat, California, and it was like I was in Houston all over again. Nothing bad about Houston, but in Houston, you expect humidity in summer. I was there in spring and it was humid. But just weird stuff like that creates the weird weather, creates the lightning, creates the fires, and the rolling blackouts. So, all kinds of stuff. And people throwing stuff in their car. Grab food, grab a cooler, have it nearby, ready to go. Just know and have the list. Like, I know what we check off when we go on a big backpacking trip. There's things to get, and if you don't get them, you're up in 5 miles from civilization and you forgot your stove, or, oh, this is a bad one, your rain fly. Recently, hiking in Desolation Wilderness, It rained on us, dumped on us twice. All that was between us and just completely having to pack up and leave because we'd be so wet was a thin layer of plastic. And there's the rub. Like, I'm pretty much not happy with all the plastic use. But if we only used oil, or I shouldn't say plastic use, yeah, plastic, but basically using petroleum should be used for only certain things, like, these eye buds, or thin layers of rain fly. The challenge is that we're guzzling it for our transportation. Yeah, now I know electric cars are going to have a big bite out of that. But for the majority of cars that are out there still running combustion engines, we're still guzzling up the stuff that we may need around for making more rain flies and earbuds and other important things. Right now, one of the coolest things I heard about was 3D printers being able to go into areas and build homes. That's phenomenal. At least the 3D printer I saw was kind of putting out concrete. I'm not a big fan of concrete use because of so much energy goes into creating the concrete, but I know there's other materials that can be generated from a 3D printer. But we can't make another Earth, and so that's the big message today. A lot of what's going on in the world is impact from years before. I mean, there's some things that, we hear some reports and you're like, oh my God, we're screwed. But I don't want to come from that standpoint. And yet there are people that are fleeing their homes, firefighters that are on the front line amidst a pandemic. So my heart goes out to everyone. Stay safe, be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. Even if you don't live in an area that's on fire, be prepared, You never know. There's floods, there's been all kinds of things, especially with your insurance. Check your insurance of your home, your renter's insurance, make sure the policies are up to date. It's worth a call. And if you live in California, you got to be making sure that your insurance is up to date. I had friends that lost so much more because they didn't have the right insurance, or even documenting. So there's not just the insurance, but going around and making sure, this computer screen I'm sitting in front of, you've got model numbers and all that stuff we don't ever want to do. Like, oh, it's a Saturday, let me go around and take pictures of all my valuables. Like, do it anyway. Okay. So be safe, be well, and send prayers and lots of cool thoughts to California, just the whole state, especially, Sonoma County, Napa County, down in, I think, Southern California, all of that. Love you guys.